Mr. Magnusson. Is Romania an interesting place for your law firm? And if yes, does the firm have any plans to open a local office in Romania in the medium term?
Well, first of all, it is interesting. We are a regional firm. We focus on the Baltic Sea region and beyond. And Romania has a lot of interesting connections to many of the places where we are. We are in Scandinavia, we are in the Baltic States, we are in Poland, we are in Germany, in Russia. And many of those places have important business ties to Romania. So I would say that yes, it is of interest to develop ties to Romania. Whether that will be through our own office, cooperation, a network, is too early to say. But we want to develop our contacts with Romania, that's for sure.
So it's, if I understand well, it's still early to say if it will be an owned operation or an affiliate office
or cooperation or network. We are. I would say as I said, I'm the first time here in Romania now, which I very much appreciate, and it seems to be a wonderful country, and we've been very well taken care of, and it looks also, from my understanding, a lot of potential, a lot of interesting prospects and emerging markets, but I'm still trying to learn, and we're trying to learn more about the market.
I see. And what would matter most in taking a decision to start an operation here? I mean, meeting the client demand, the country's economic growth prospect, maybe other reasons?
Well, ultimately it is about the client demand. I mean, we are a law firm, and our business is to serve our clients, and if we see there is a need for us to have some sort of further developed connection here, because it will be because of the client demand. That's number one, number two, and number three.
I see. And which law firms do you already know and maybe use or collaborate with in Romania in this moment?
Well, I can say that we have. So far we have had contact with TSAA, and we have had contact with Popovic and a couple of others, but so far, as I said, it's very early days and we're just developing, but those, just to mention a couple of examples of firms we've had contact with and worked together with.
And what are you looking for in a law firm when it's to decide to cooperate with? How do you select your partners in a country like Romania? Well,
first of all, of course, we want the local partners that we are cooperating with, of course, to be able to serve our clients very well, to be very competent in the legal field, but also it's very important that they are able to be proactive and service-minded, because we want to, if we have a client that needs help in another place, we need to be sure that that client is really looked after as if it was the client of their own. So I would say that the service, the ambition on the service level, responsiveness is the most important thing when we are looking for, to make sure that it meets our clients' needs and demands.
Have you already instructed some kind of work to local law firms in Romania in the recent years, let's say?
We have done so, yes, from different offices that we have, yes.
And if you could please indicate some relevant areas of practice in which you have done so?
Well, it's in real estate, it's in corporate, and also in litigation, to mention a few.
And that helps me to put the next question, which would be, what are the main areas of interest in terms of practice that you already found here in Romania?
Well, I would say that, I mean, those two I mentioned, corporate and real estate, are important, but also I know that there is a strong automotive sector in Romania, and that is of interest to many of our offices that we have. So automotive would be one we will be looking at. Real estate is a super important sector for us, firm-wide, and also energy, which we work a lot with. So, and also I might add technology on top of that. So those would be areas we would typically be looking at.
And speaking of energy, you're speaking of energy as a whole, or you are interested in some more specific areas like, I don't know, oil and gas or renewables or what?
Well, renewables, I would say, but I mean, and also because we are based in different jurisdictions where there are different sources, it could actually be also oil and gas, but it could also be nuclear. So I think it's a broad variety. If you take my own home country, Sweden, it would primarily be renewables, I would say, and it would be perhaps wind power. If you go to the Baltic states, maybe nuclear power is also of interest.
How would you describe in a few words the Romanian merger and acquisition market? Or
I cannot describe. I cannot do that. I am too ignorant to.
it's too early.
Yeah, surely I don't know enough to say it. I'm not an expert.
You usually have some sort of intuition, or
Well, all I can say is that there seems to be as I said, an emerging market. So there seems to be a lot of opportunities for interesting acquisitions. For instance, in these sectors I mentioned, but I cannot be more specific than that at this point.
And speaking of the clients, you are already assisting in Romania eventually through local firms. There are some prospective clients which would like to come in Romania and you to help them in their business here?
Yes, we get inquiries from time to time, not only from the Nordic region, but also from, for instance, from the US and also from China. We have a very active China practice, so we work a lot with inbound Chinese investments into our part of the world, having Chinese lawyers employed. So and they on a frequent basis make inquiries about the Romanian market, because it is a market which is very strategically located, but it also is a big market relative to many other surrounding markets in the region.
Let's see. For how many times do you work with Mr. Stratulat's firm, and how would you describe the relationship with his practice?
Well, I mean, I cannot say exactly how many times, but we have a good working relationship, and we have worked with them for well, it's not more than perhaps a couple of years, but still, it's been developing well. And we have been very pleased with how things have been developing. Yes.
So, do you feel there is a lot of opportunity in Romania, and maybe more than in other more mature markets?
For sure.
Through the crisis.
For sure. I mean, the fact that it is an emerging market is one of the key factors here. I think that it is. Mature markets can be interesting, but mature markets are mature, so it's much more difficult. And we as a firm, as a law firm, we are very much also looking at opportunities in emerging markets. So this is very much in our DNA, that we are looking for these kind of opportunities. So in that perspective, Romania is a good fit. And also the fact that it is a market of 22 million people is something which makes it interesting from our clients' perspective to invest in.
I see. Um, it's an emerging market with a lot of prospects and potential, but on the other hand, what would be the specific difficulties which you expect to encounter in such a market as Romania?
Well, I mean, every market has its own challenges, and because it is an emerging market, I would expect that this sort of infrastructure in terms of administration and the public sector can still be developed, and that things are at a because it is an emerging market. It also means that things are not ready, and therefore there may be a few more surprises than in mature markets. But that's part of the. I don't think that is really a problem as long as those challenges are manageable, because any investor that goes into an emerging market knows that you have these challenges and is aware of them. And I think what typically a foreign investor is concerned about if there is too much bureaucracy and that it takes too long to get permits, or permits cannot be done, it cannot be obtained in time. That is often something which is a big obstacle for investors.
And in the end, Mr. Magnusson, would you like to tell our viewers and our readers some things about your firm, about its history and about its operations worldwide?
Okay. We have been operating this firm for about 10 years now, and we are now we have 15 offices in 12 countries. And as I said, we are focusing on this Baltic Sea region, and the idea is to be a one-stop shop in this region for clients to do business in this region. And it's a very integrated firm, and we are working very closely together to provide a one-stop shop for our clients in this region. And we think we have a very good and sustainable concept, and we are it's a unique concept, and it's something which we know that the market appreciates, that they can come to us, and we have this knowledge of being active in both mature and emerging markets as a combination. I think that sends a powerful message to the market, which I think will continue to develop very positively over the years to come.